Yesterday on the channel, we covered the fact that the Punisher series that's replacing Frank Castle with a new character after Marvel just tucked their tail over this whole deal because, of course, the Punisher symbol became a right-wing symbol. They couldn't handle that. They are a leftist company who wants to push this woke agenda all the time. And nobody bought it. Nobody cared about it. Nobody wanted it at the end of the day. Once it was announced that it was happening, there were a few videos on it. Of course, we did one here. But beyond that, nobody paid any attention to it. I read the first issue, and it was all right. If it wasn't named The Punisher, I would have been like, this is fine. But it was The Punisher, and it wasn't Frank Castle at the end of the day. They've, of course, gone out of their way to just ignore this at the end of the day. When people didn't buy it, Marvel just quietly swept it under the rug because it's an embarrassment towards them. It's a humiliation, again, that Marvel didn't want the character that the fans loved, and so they tried to, of course, replace the character and do something different. And instead of that, the fans just reacted by just going, meh, fine, I won't buy it. Now, David Pepose, or Pepose, I don't know how to pronounce his name, is the writer of this. And the guy is like a quizzling little weasel at Marvel. That's how you get hired at Marvel these days. You have to be a black disabled woman, or you have to be a homosexual. He might be a homosexual, I don't know. Maybe that's how he got hired. Or you have to be like, an ally, and of course, being part of this thing. Now, there's a concerted effort that's been kind of weird lately. I've noticed that I've been blocked on Twitter by a bunch of recent Marvel hires who are writers, and David Pepose is one of them. I hadn't interacted with the guy. I actually read the first Punisher issue, and I thought, you know what? It's actually all right. I'll be like, hey, this guy actually wrote a decent book. Congratulations. And I went to see that, and I was blocked on Twitter. Then I looked on my Fandom Pulse account, which is, of course, my news website. We don't interact with people over there generally, except for people who are, of course, retweeting our articles, and we retweet friendly comments to our articles. It's a news organization. I run it like a professional news organization. And he blocked Fandom Pulse over there. Like, he literally just couldn't handle that there is a entertainment journalism outfit that tells the truth, that doesn't bow towards Marvel. Now, it's weird to me that like this blocking has happened. I've had a couple different people who have worked at Marvel in the past now like go dark on me after my recent coverage of Mark Waid and things that are going on with the X-Men. I think there's now a mandate out there that I'm not allowed to be talked to by Marvel, DC, and IDW. And it seems to be the case through these companies. You talk to me, you're going to be blacklisted. And so that's where it's at this point. So David Pepose's email is public. He has it on his website. And so I grabbed it. And I'm a journalist, so I'm going to do my due diligence. The Punisher cancellation looks like it's true, but there's not been a confirmation. Marvel hasn't talked about it. He hasn't talked about it. And so we just see via the solicits that there's no new issues coming out, which is kind of weird. Since they just hawk this as like some new thing that they're doing. And so I asked him about it. I sent him an email asking, hey, I just want to confirm that the Punisher was canceled. Can you do that? And do you have any comments? Because, of course, he's the writer. If you had any comments, I'm a journalist. I'm going to report on it, right? And I said I actually enjoyed the first issue. And, of course, I pretty nice to the guy. I've never just gone at him or anything like that. No reason to. I don't just attack people out of the blue. It sucks that he's a Marvel writer, and I assume that he's going to be hostile because of that, because of the way he's treated me in terms of blocking me. But beyond that, I try to be a professional journalist. And I do this. I'm a good professional journalist. There was a good Star Trek comic that came out. I actually reported on it on my Twitter, and I said it was good. Even though Heather Antos, has been absolutely crazy to me at IDW, I report what's good. I report what's bad. I just do things honestly here. That's what makes me different than CBR or IGN or Bleeding Cool. They report one way. They're Access Media. And, of course, the people who aren't part of the Access Media are bad, and the people who are good. I report on comic news, and so I do things as a journalist. So I have to verify the information here. This is the goal. And so I wrote him, and he didn't reply to me, of course, but he did go on Twitter to freak out. And this is exactly what he did. By the way, I'm John Delarose. I'm a #1 best-selling author and award-winning comic creator myself. I got my own books in an online bookstore, delarose.com, which is in the description below. And you can grab that. Grab Flying Sparks or Overmind or Cosmic Warrior. Those are great books if you want to check those out. Maybe I'll do like a Punisher alternative at some point to make everybody happy here. So here's what he said, and this is he writes like a woman. This is ridiculous. Like, I've never seen such feminine energy.
I wish this didn't need to be said, but if I have you blocked on social media, please don't consider it an invitation to then harass me over email. Sheesh.
Ridiculous. So obviously, like, asking a question about a book he's working on for Marvel as a journalist in that is not harassment, David. That is not what harassment is. What's harassment is, of course, people like you going around in a whisper network saying, don't talk to JDA, he's a bigot, he's a bad person. That's harassment. Blacklisting people like me from the industry is harassment. Of course, trying to get people like me fired and all this stuff in various entertainment industries, that's harassment. Asking a question, asking if you'll verify the rumor that your book has been canceled, is a journalist question. Any questions? I know you haven't dealt with a real journalist in comics for a long, long time. You've got Heidi McDonald and Rich Johnson just doing Marvel's bidding just for their little access there. But you know what? Times are changing, and we're a legitimate business. And you know what? It's not going to just go away. We're just gaining an influence. Do you know why? Because the fans trust us because we tell the truth about what's going on. And so if you just want to be a reasonable person and just tell the truth, you're not going to have a problem. If you lie, if you do this stuff, if you try to like lambast fans over your own bad deeds, then of course that's going to not go well for you at the end of the day. This is the warning, and it's not a threat or anything like that. We are just reporting the news, and we're going to continue to do so. I have to talk to these people like they're children, because this is like a child responding to a question he didn't want to answer. Now, it gets crazier than this. As you go through my comments here, everybody seems to be blocked, and they're just like, I've never interacted with this person. So David Pepose here, or however you pronounce his name, obviously is running some sort of blockchain. Whether they follow me, I don't know. I think it actually has to do with Ethan Van Sciver and people following Ethan Van Sciver. And that's what he's doing. So we don't know why we're blocked or what's going on. We never bothered or, quote, harassed this person. In fact, my only attempt to interact with him was to say, hey, you did a pretty good job on this comic. What a dickhead to do this. Like, you know, I'm a customer at that point. You know, if I went to a restaurant and I said, hey, you know, I heard from the table over there that there's hair in the pasta. Did the chef put some hair in the pasta? And if the waiter said, that's harassment, and screamed like that, nobody would ever go to that restaurant again. What waiters do at that point and go, you know what? I'm sorry about the hair in the pasta. We're replacing it. And no, yours is going to be fine. We're going to do everything we can to take care of you. That's how you treat customers. And of course, that's what we do in independent comics. My customers give me feedback on my books and stuff like that all the time. And I try to integrate that feedback. I try to do right by you. And I try, of course, to make sure that you're happy with the entertainment I provide. So please go check out my books. They're in the description below. I've got a subscribe star also. I'd really appreciate you being there. This is the difference between somebody like me and somebody like David Pepose, and somebody like Marvel Comics. And it's really just sad to see them act like this. I expect an apology. I really do, David, because I know you're watching this video. And of course, CB Cebulski, if you watch this, stop this crap with your people. I mean, we just want honesty. We just want truth, and we just want to be able to report the news. And of course, it shouldn't just be about access and shilling for your company. If it is, then of course you're using the media as something completely what it's not supposed to be. And, we want truth in journalism, like we always have. Leave a comment down below with what you think about this. Hit that like and subscribe button. We'll be back soon.